I kind of like my top 10 there.
Yeah.
I kind of do. I don't think there's a lot of pushback, right?
No, I was trying to find something I couldn't stand about it, and you're right. It doesn't have the glaring errors I've come to expect from the herd hierarchy. I would bump the Lions a bit. That would be my only nit to pick, so to speak. And listen, when Goff is protected, they look as dangerous as any offense in the league. And yesterday, even without Frank Ragnow, now you mentioned Seattle's injuries up front, that is noteworthy. They were able to protect him, and he played a brilliant football game. And so, yeah, as far as the best team on the outside looking in, I know for a long time people would be like, why aren't the Jets in there? And then you can just be like, well, did you see the game this weekend? That's why the Jets aren't in there. I like it, Colin. Your Chargers aren't there anymore. How the mighty have fallen, but I think they'll be back at some point. But I can't really take any issue with it. I think this is your best work to date so far. So yeah, I like it.
So I said this is that when you get into a relationship, sometimes they're uneven. And Aaron and the Jets was an uneven relationship. He was rich, successful, powerful, Hall of Fame. Saleh was a losing coach. GM they missed on a quarterback. There's heat, left tackle. The ownership is impulsive. So this was always an unbalanced relationship. So when Saleh pushes back maybe on cadence, and Aaron's the best cadence quarterback easily in league history, I get Aaron thinking, well, time out. Defensive coach doesn't like my cadence? You guys can't do I've seen your record before I got here. And I think the problem in this relationship isn't now, it's that it was always unbalanced, and Aaron's always been moody and prickly, and I think we're seeing it in real time now. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I think that is spot on. I also think that is just one of the Jets' many problems. So let's talk about the Jets, because, Colin, you call yourself, or maybe America calls you, America's honesty broker, correct?
Yes.
Like that's one of your many nicknames? Okay. Well, I am trying to grow into the role of America's sports media accountability broker, which is what I'm not okay with is folks watching the game Sunday after being all in on the Jets for the last 6 months and all of a sudden acting like they're just discovering, you know what? The Jets might have a coaching issue. Really? The 33 win percentage for the last 3 years didn't tell you? Oh, the New York Jets, who under this head coach are 2-6 with extra time to prepare. Like you mentioned it earlier, the best coaches, you give them a bye or a mini bye, they come out. This team becomes the worst team, and the more time you give this coaching staff to cook something up, the worse the team is.
Yeah.
All off season, I said when I was skeptical of the Jets, listen, I like Breece Hall. I don't know that he's a superstar, but I like him. Oh, my God, watch the games. Look at what he did last year. I'm like, I don't know, man. The final game of the year, they force-fed him 37 carries because they so badly wanted to have a 1,000-yard rusher. They couldn't get that done. And now fast forward to week 4, they're playing the Broncos, and the fans are mad that they didn't give the ball to the rookie, Braylon Allen, on the goal line, not the guy with 10 carries, 4 yards. I was told all offseason, oh, my God, the weapons this Jets team has. I'm like, listen, Garrett Wilson's a good player. Is he a great player? I don't know. Maybe he will be one day. He's a good player. Oh, you're underselling it. Guy hasn't had 60 yards yet. Yeah. Aaron Rodgers has 79 passer rating when targeting him, 99 when targeting everyone else.
Yep.
There has been few things in recent sports media history more mystifying than the amount of otherwise smart people that thought a team with a soon-to-be 41-year-old mercurial quarterback coming off an Achilles who hasn't been good in 3 years, coached by a coach, according to his resume, one of the least accomplished coaches in the NFL right now, with an offensive coordinator they tried to move off of, an offensive line they put together in the offseason, and a couple young weapons who have shown flashes. That team's going to compete for what? They were the favorites to win the division. The favorites to win the AFC East, like Josh Allen retired and went to a monastery. I never understood it. And when they lost, if I may, and then I'll shut up. After they lost the Niners game week 1, How much did we have to hear this? Well, that was a bad loss, but it doesn't matter. They're going to be 4-1. It's going to go win, 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 win. Well, you're 2-2 and underdogs to the Vikings.
Yeah.
So I never understood the Jets hype, and I think we're seeing it right now.
So we said with the Steelers, it was funny. We said, even when Russ, we said this before the season, even when Russ was in his athletic prime, he wasn't great from the pocket, and he wasn't loved in the locker room. So Justin Fields was going to win the locker room. He's a likable, relatable, young, athletic, and this team can't figure out their run game or their O-line. It's a Tomlin issue, I guess. They just can't figure it out. It's never going to be great. I do think they got the OC right. But if you're asking young players, so at one point, Russell's elusiveness could overcome his limitations as a pocket guy. He doesn't have that. Yeah. Justin isn't great in the pocket either, but his athletic ability can overcome that.
Sick athlete.
Yeah. Sick. And the truth is, he's likable. Everybody in Chicago to the end liked him, to the last game. And so now, basically, he's starting this week. Tomlin said earlier today, so he's the guy. And
he's the starter.
He's the starter. So
he's the starter.
It's over.
It's over. Like,
okay.
And by the way, I don't think Justin Fields is going to continue to play at this level, because this last game might have been his best game, even though they lost. I do think he'll have a stretch of rough football at one or multiple points this year. I still think he should be the starter for the entirety of the year, barring injury. They don't have a good quarterback in waiting. They have a 35-plus-year-old who is all of a sudden now injury-prone quarterback coming off back-to-back awful seasons. I don't understand this idea at all that there is a real question there. The guy with more upside ended up getting the job because the other guy was injured. He has played better. Justin Fields has played better, and he hasn't played brilliant, but he has played better these 4 weeks than Russell Wilson has played at any point in the last 3 years. Like, what are we talking about? Listen, it's a sad kind of surprising end, but Russell Wilson's time as, hey, you're a no-doubt starting quarterback in this league might have ended in training camp when his calf tightened up. I don't think we are going to have another season where it's like our week 1 guaranteed starter is Russell Wilson. And so, yeah, I think it's Justin Fields' job.
I'm going to throw this at you. We got into this discussion. J-Mac brought it up. Sure. So Albert Breer came on my show a week ago, said keep your eye on Belichick and Jacksonville. So I'm going to ask you, and we got into this. I said, and also Philadelphia is going to a bye. I would not be shocked if they didn't get Belichick on the phone. I'm serious. They moved off Chip Kelly winning record, Doug Peterson Super Bowl. This organization, though not impulsive, is hyper proactive. They will bail on guys. They've got a lot of money and ownership. So I'm sitting there looking and I'm thinking, let me ask you, if you were Belichick, and the understanding is the media stuff is fine, you know, he can pay the mortgages in Nantucket, but he's going to get back into coaching. Would you take Jalen Hurts in a passionate market, great owner, or Trevor Lawrence in kind of a circus, rich owner, money, but it's never right? And because I think a lot of people view Trevor Lawrence will be better with the right coach, and Jalen Hurts is done. And what if they're the same? They can only win with an elite coordinator. What job, if you're Belichick, would you take?
Okay, so you're really trying to lead the jury here, or lead the witness here with your setup. So let me make this clear. I'm a Trevor Lawrence guy. That is now becoming more and more based off of things he did at Clemson rather than in the NFL.
Same.
This year, it's unforgivable.
Yep.
Like this, the Jacksonville Jaguars they got their doors blown off them by the Bills. Every other game, with just adequate situational football and above-average quarterbacking, they would have won, and they're 0-4.
Yep.
So I can't defend how Trevor has played this year. I would still rather have him moving forward than Jalen Hurts, but I understand folks saying, hey, what are you basing that off of? And my answer is kind of like my gut. I don't know what else to tell you. I just think it. I can't prove it to you. With that said, Philadelphia is unquestionably, for Bill Belichick, the better job.
Okay.
Like, it is a great ownership, a great franchise, massive talent on the offensive side of the ball, which is where he has struggled finding talent in the wide receivers, running backs in particular, and enough piece defensive linemen to work with. Like, if I know this has never happened and this wouldn't happen, but the best thing the Philadelphia Eagles could do today is call Bill Belichick today and be like, can you be here tomorrow?
Yeah.
We've got 10 days till our next game.
Seriously.
You want to take over mid-season.
Yeah.
I know it doesn't happen, but in the NBA, you just had one, Doc Rivers. And now it didn't work out great, but they fired their coach, brought someone in from the outside mid-season. If if you are a Cowboys or a Washington fan, and you found out tonight the Eagles have hired Bill Belichick and he takes over tomorrow, that bums you out. And in pro sports, you should more often do the thing that your opponent doesn't want you to do.
Yeah.
So Breer, I had heard a similar thing. Steven Ruiz had mentioned it, I think, a couple weeks ago about there being a lot of Belichick-Jacksonville rumors. I think that would be a fine spot for him. But yeah, if for Philadelphia, given the talent in place, you have to think that would be a great landing spot. And I know we're all talking for the 2025 season. I don't hate the idea of him taking over somewhere early in a season, see if he can get it turned around.
Yeah, and it's also interesting, Nick, because, Bill's doing a good job at what he's doing, but Parcells a couple of times went into broadcasting, and the minute he got an offer, Bill was right back into it. The truth is, Sean Payton, Parcells, Belichick, there's too much working upstairs. They're still close to, I know Bill's 70, but Bill's still the best defensive coach we ever had in the league.
And he wants the record.
Yes.
He wants he wants Shula's record. B, his boat is called 8 rings, not 6 rings, because he counts the ones he won as a coordinator. So this is a guy that cares about those things. And C, nobody with that much money is taking a 6th and 7th job for the money. He's doing it because he loves football that much and wants to stay in the public eye. So he is coaching somewhere next year. Again, I think the Bills are going to be good throughout the year. But as a Chiefs fan, you know what terrifies me is the idea of Bill Belichick, head coach of the Buffalo Bills. All of these teams that have a core in place but haven't quite been able to get to where they're trying to go to and don't need Bill to, rebuild the franchise, those teams would almost all of them be better off with Belichick. So, yeah, he's going to be somewhere. And if I were a team that thinks I'm going to fire my coach, I would consider doing it early to try to snatch him up early.
Nick Wright, we agree. First things first after us.
What about the Jets? You think Robert Saleh's going to be back? With a little Belichick back with the Jets?
No.
How about that?
No,
I don't think that's going to happen either. See ya.
Hi, everybody. It's me, Uncle Colin. Subscribe here to get the latest from the herd, including exclusive behind-the-scenes videos and more, wherever you may be, however you may be watching. Thanks again for making us part of your day.